Hello friends, welcome to my channel Toxic Medicine. Here today we are going to learn about fracture. Fracture basically it is breaking in the continuity of the bone. The three factors can cause bone fracture and its complication, and they are: the first one is when the force is too large, example road traffic accident, and the second one is when the force is chronic and repetitive, example prolonged standing as in policeman, nurse and doctor. The third one is when the natural resistance of the bone is eroded by disease process, for example osteomyelitis and cancer. Now talking about types of the fracture, there are two types of fracture: simple fracture and compound fracture. Simple fracture is also called closed fracture. Here the bone can break within its soft tissue envelope and may not communicate with exterior. And the second one, compound fracture or open fracture, is here it may rip through its soft tissue, or soft tissue may be damaged by external forces exposing to the external atmosphere. And on the basis of the fracture pattern, they are classified as transverse fracture, oblique fracture, spiral fracture, comminuted fracture, segmental fracture. Talking about transverse fracture, it occurs making a right angle to the long axis of the bone, and in oblique fracture it make 45 degree with the long axis of the bone. In spiral fracture, this fracture occurs helically and caused due to the twisting of the bone. In comminuted fracture, bones are broken down into pieces. In segmental fracture, in this fracture, bone breaks in different segments, making multiple axes. Now, atypical fractures. Green strip fracture, it is seen exclusively in children and occurs due to buckling or breaking of one cortex when the force is applied. The second one is impacted fracture. Here, the fracture fragments are impacted into each other and are not separated and displaced. The third one is stress or fatigue fracture. It is usually incomplete fracture which occurs commonly in athletes and in bone subjected to the chronic and repetitive stress. The fourth one is pathological fracture. It occurs in a diseased bone and usually spontaneous. And the fifth one is hairline or crack fracture. It is very fine crack and usually radiology only helps to diagnose it. And the last one is torus fracture. It is just buckling of outer cortex. Thank you.